Howdy everybody, and welcome back to our Chip and Dale demo tutorial. Today we are going to be talking about the camera, because last time we put a player character into a room, but we couldn't really see it because the camera doesn't exist yet, so all we got to see was the top left corner of the room. So we're going to fix that today, so let's get cracking. Now, you may remember back from the very beginning, we set up a object camera as just kind of like a blank object, so that our init object here could create the camera object. But now we're going to actually put in some data to fill it up. So we're going to need two events: create and end step. Let's come over to our create here and zoom in. We need to create some variables. So we're going to start with an enum x underscore dir, left and right. We use this for determining what direction the camera moves, because in Chip and Dale the camera can move left or right, but it doesn't move both directions at the same time. So when you're at the bottom of the zone, when you're at this area, the camera only moves right. But when you reach here, the camera can now move up. And then when you reach here, the camera can only move left. It can't move back right. You can't go back. So we need to be able to set up our camera directions. Next, we're going to make some variables. Cam underscore equals view underscore camera 0. Follow underscore equals object underscore player underscore 1. Equals view underscore width is equal to camera underscore get underscore view, and we're going to go with width of cam underscore view underscore h is equal to camera underscore get view height cam underscore view underscore width underscore half is equal to view underscore width times 0.5 view underscore h underscore half is equal to view underscore h underscore times 0.5. And these are just a bunch of variables that we will commonly be using. Let's see, another couple would be view underscore x underscore. So this would be the top left corner of what we can see. Camera underscore get underscore view underscore x, cam underscore view underscore y underscore is equal to camera underscore get underscore view underscore y, cam underscore. And x underscore direction is equal to x underscore dir dot right. Okay. Now let's put in some initial setup. So if our instance exists, follow, then we want to move ourselves so that we are following that player. X equals clamp follow underscore dot x view underscore width underscore half underscore and room underscore width minus view underscore width underscore half, and y is equal to clamp follow underscore dot y view underscore h underscore half room underscore height minus view underscore half view height half. So if the player exists, my x should be equal to the player's x, but clamp it to the view half width and the room width minus the view underscore width underscore half, so that we stay within the room. So this would be the left side. We only want to get as close as halfway to our view size, and for our Y, half the size of our height. Else, if the player doesn't exist yet, or there is not going to be a player in that room, x equals room underscore width minus view underscore width underscore half. So basically just center us in the room. Well, not center us, but put us at the top left corner. Y equals room underscore height minus view underscore h underscore half. I mean, it puts us at the bottom left corner. So, and last but not least, camera underscore set underscore view underscore position. So cam should be set to x minus view underscore width underscore half, y minus view underscore h underscore half. Except I've already done these things in there, so why am I doing it here? I probably don't even need to do that there, but let's see. If we take my x value, I've theoretically already set up my... whatever. It didn't work. It doesn't make a difference in my actual game project, so it shouldn't make any difference here, I hope. Mostly because we're going to be moving the camera in the end step, so before we're even able to see this, we should already have moved to a new position anyways. So, anyways, now we're going to set up the camera for single player mode right now, but in a bit, once we get around to it, I'll show you how to set up the camera so that it'll work with multiplayer mode. And it's kind of complicated setting it up for multiplayer mode because you have to do a bunch of stuff to set it up so that it will either player can move the camera around, but you can't move the camera larger than the width of the two players and all sorts of different things that a nice modern stretching camera doesn't have an issue with. So first things first, if not instance underscore exists follow, then exit, because if the player doesn't exist, then we don't really need to be running any code, because the camera shouldn't be moving if the player doesn't exist. Next, we update our view underscore x variable and our camera underscore y, so we know where the camera currently is positioned. Then we set up our x and y positions for where we want our camera to go. So if global.multiplayer underscore mode, we'll do one thing, else do something else, and we'll leave the multiplayer mode code out for the time being. So we're going to say if x underscore dir underscore is equal to x underscore dir dot right. So if the camera is currently moving right, then do this, else do that. If follow underscore dot x is greater than the view underscore x plus the view underscore width underscore half, then x is equal to clamp follow underscore dot x view underscore width underscore half underscore room underscore width minus view underscore width underscore half. should be that for there. So if what we're following, the player's X position is greater than the view X position plus the view width half. So if our let's say the camera's view position is 128, the view's full width is 256, so this is 128, so that'd be 256. So if our player's X position is greater than 256, then clamp the camera to my player's view, so the camera will follow the player as he moves to the right. And we're going to do pretty much the same thing for the left here. If follow.x plus follow underscore dot sprite underscore width, because we want to include the width of the player's sprite, so that the camera focuses on the top left corner, I believe, of the player character. So if you're in this case, if that's less than, put that there to make sure that it's readable. View X plus the view X with half again, then X equals clamp follow.x plus follow underscore dot sprite underscore width, view underscore width half, and room width minus width of the half width. All right. And then, so this is the X direction. And here's the Y direction. So if follow underscore dot Y is less than view underscore Y underscore, so view underscore H underscore half, then Y is equal to clamp follow underscore dot Y view underscore H underscore half, room underscore height minus view underscore H underscore half. That should be good for that. All right, so we are also going to add another thing to our camera here, which is very useful. In the game, we have all this blank space here, where our player, where the player isn't supposed to be able to see. So we need to create some camera exclusion zones, places where the camera isn't supposed to go, so that we can actually keep the camera out of these areas. So let's go over to our Objects tab here. And over in Game Objects, we're going to want to create a new object and call it object underscore camera underscore blocker. And give it a sprite. Miscellaneous red square. And that'll be all it needs. And let's drag one of these in here so that we can see what we're doing. Oh wait. We're just going to want to put that onto instances, I believe. And drag it to give it the right size. Let me check. Need to use control so it'll drop it by 1 pixel. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And it should be directly on the top there. Perfect. So we use that to exclude our camera from being able to go into those areas. Alright, and let me check over here. Again, use control click to drop that by 1 pixel. Oops. And resize this so it's on the top of that pole there. You go all the way over to here. All the way to right there. Alright, good. And you'll see these used in some other games as well. And let's see, I believe there's someone else who used similar kind of objects to hold the camera outside of zones, but yeah, so use those to hold the camera outside of areas we don't want to go into. Let's add some code to make that work. Next, camera exclusion zones, _collision is equal to collision_line, x minus view underscore width underscore half, x plus view underscore width underscore half minus 1, y minus view underscore half underscore half, object underscore camera blocker false true. So precise false, not me is true. Doesn't really matter in those cases, but we're just looking for a collision here for our camera object X position. Oh wait, I missed out some code there, so that'd be x minus view underscore width underscore half, and that should be y minus view underscore h underscore half. Somehow I missed out on a y there. All right, so let me zoom in on that. So this checks to see if we had a line along the length of our view with a object camera blocker. If we did, then do one of several different things. This checks actually along the top of our camera to see if we had a top collision. If underscore collision does not equal no one, then y is equal to underscore collision dot b box underscore bottom plus view underscore h underscore half plus 1. So if we had a collision on the top with this object, then put me at the bottom of the object. And again, I want to make the disclaimer that my code isn't necessarily the best way. It is the way that I did it here, but there's probably better ways to do this, and this is one of those things where you could really do that. So let's see, camera blockers, top, bottom, left, right. In fact, I think I've come up with a better system for doing this recently, so I'll probably be using a better system in future games. So let's put this here. And we don't need to declare the var collision again because it already exists. So we could do collision line, x minus view, x with half, y plus view underscore h underscore half, x2 plus view underscore half minus 1, and y plus view underscore h underscore half. And this should be go to b box top minus the view underscore half. And we're going to do again kind of the same thing, just change up some of the plus or minuses. Underscore collision, underscore line, x minus view underscore width underscore half to y minus the view underscore half, x minus width underscore half. No minus 1 there. And y plus view underscore h underscore half. If underscore collision does not equal no 1, again, this should become x equals collision box right plus view underscore width underscore half. And for right, underscore collisions equals collision line x plus view underscore width underscore half, y minus view underscore half, x plus view width half, y plus view height half. If underscore collision is not equal to no 1, x, that'd be b box left minus, oh wait, this should be plus there. All right. Finally, camera underscore set underscore view underscore position to be cam underscore x minus view underscore width underscore half, y minus view underscore h underscore half. All right, that should do it then. So let's take a look, see if my are we creating the camera? Yes, we are creating it. Good. Let's see what this does now. Alright, so as you can see, previously we were unable to I guess I'll just turn that off so we don't have the music playing. So previously we had problems with the X and Y. We had problems with the X and Y position of our cutscene where everything was offset a bit. But now that's fixed because the camera is now showing it in the right position. Though theoretically, since I don't really need the camera in those rooms and stuff, it just it's more of a problem with how I coded things rather than actually being a problem with those. So anyways, it doesn't really matter. And we now actually see the player when we go into the room. So that's very important, I guess. So next up, I guess we can actually start putting some controls into the player so that we can actually move him around somewhat. All right, well, thank you everybody for watching, and good luck with your programming. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to ask. I am more than willing to answer any that you may have. Thank you and good night.